But there are just 10 days until the first presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. CNN has announced additional rules for the June 27th showdown in Atlanta. Candidates' microphones will be muted except for when it's their turn to speak. There will be 2 commercial breaks, but campaign staff may not interact with their candidates during them. And no props will be permitted on stage, but each candidate will receive a pen, a notepad, and a bottle of water. Our Fin Gómez, political director, joins us now. Fin, tell us about these two sides. Are they ready to play ball with these rules?
You're absolutely right, Weege. It's only 10 days until the first debate between these two, and if you recall, this is the first time that either of these two have had a debate since the 2020 cycle. And if you recall, those 2 debates that occurred during that cycle, it was quite bombastic. Both were very aggressive, and so now we are in the midst of the lead up to this seismic debate that could have seismic consequences. We do know in terms of preparation that they're both campaigns are essentially have different strategies and methods to how they're preparing their candidates for this debate in just 10 days in Atlanta, Georgia. President Biden has Ron Klain, his former chief of staff, is running points on the preparation for President Biden. They're doing a more traditional form where there's going to essentially that lead up week before the 27th. They're going to be essentially going down in preparation and sort of hunkering down, and getting ready for that. And we do know that on the other side, Donald Trump is essentially is doing more of his unorthodox methods to prepare for the debate. There hasn't been more of a traditional preparation session where you're essentially circled by either advisors or people playing the parts of their opponents. Donald Trump has mainly been speaking to advisors or key policy folks, including Senator Marco Rubio last week during his visit to the RNC, where they had a discussion on policy. But just 10 days away, Ouija, and it's expected to be a pretty significant event.
Well, especially because, Finn, we should also note that there is not going to be a live audience, right? So there's not going to be that reaction, the pause for applause or boos or what have you. Before I let you go, I want to ask you about Trump's Veep stake, because so far, I think there's a short list, is that right, of who he might announce?
There is a short list. I mean, right now we know that there's about 7 or 8 of the potential candidates who have been vetted or received vetting documents. Of those 8, there's been really a lot of attention towards Tim Scott, the South Carolina Senator, J.D. Vance, his colleague from Ohio, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, and also Senator Marco Rubio of Florida. And those two several are really getting the focus right now, we've been told. But ultimately, Ouija, as you know, there is a sense that the ultimate decision will be made by the presumptive nominee. But yes, there's a lot of maneuvering over the last several days, Ouija, with this short list potentially getting shorter, and the expectation we should hear the announcement made either during the convention or just before the convention.